Welcome to PROCAD's SpoolCAD tutorials. Watch the entire video or use the on-screen table of contents to skip to a specific topic. Module 1, Creating a New Drawing, covers the following topics: Drawing Manager, Toolbox, Borders, and Basic Settings. Let's begin. These tutorials were created using English units. All PROCAD software products support both English and metric units. Our first topic is the Drawing Manager. When the SpoolCAD software opens, the Drawing Manager dialog box appears. If it doesn't, simply click on the Drawing Manager tab in the SpoolCAD toolbox, and the dialog box should appear. With the Drawing Manager, we can create files, delete files, rename files, basic system management type tools. We'll take a look at creating a drawing. Our first step is to select the project you'd like to create the file in. By default, you'll see the English and metric standards. For these tutorials, we have created the Twin Lakes project. Select the project, click in the drawing area, and then select the new icon. Or right-click and select New. Enter a drawing name, select the file. You can now open this file, or you can do a copy, a rename, or delete. We will open this file. Double-click it, and now the drawing opens. You'll see the drawing name up in the status bar at the top of the screen. It tells us the project that we're working in. Another method of accessing the drawings is through our Standards Manager. We can look under the Drawings tab and the SpoolCAD, and we can see all of the drawings. We can see the file that we just created. As well, we can create a new file, or if we select another file, we can copy, rename, or delete. Our next topic is the toolbox. We'll take a closer look at all of the information within the SpoolCAD toolbox. First, we have our Settings tab, which allows us to set any of the major features of the software. Things like our main pipe size, our branch size, our pipe spec, even things like a spec override. If we open that up, we can actually override the specs temporarily. We also have item information. We have some of our basic toggles for starting the software, whether or not we see a valve stem, spec checks. We have a line number tab if required. We can set and change it. And we can also set our isoplane setting. Underneath our Equipment tab, we can place some basic equipment symbols, horizontal vessels, vertical vessels. Under the Miscellaneous tab, we have things like our centerline symbol, a north arrow, flow arrows for direction, a revision cloud, instrument balloon, grade symbols, weld symbol, spool mark number, pipe insulation. Under the Line Types tab, we see a pipe routing line, border lines, and then some basic AutoCAD line types like dash line, center line, hidden line, and dotted line. Under the Auto Route feature, we can enable and disable the Auto Route. Under the Flange tab, we have all our basic flanges, including long weld necks, flange sets, nozzles, API flanges, MSS flanges, all under the Flange tab. Under the Gaskets and Bolts, if they are required, we can place the gasket individually, the bolts individually, or as a set, the gaskets and the bolts. Under the Pipe tab, we see our pipe tool, pipe nipple. We have an auto elbow and pipe routine we can use, pipe ends. We can also set our isoplane setting. Under the Valve tab, we have our commonly placed valves, including gate valves, globe valves, ball valves, check valves. Some features for placing the valves. Under the Fittings tab, we have our common fittings from elbows to concentric reducers, to our straight tees, reducing tees, to our olets, sockolets, threadlets, elbowlets. Under miscellaneous fittings, we see some of our smaller fittings like our unions, our caps and plugs and couplings. Under pipe supports, we see things like pipe shoes, base supports, pipe hangers, U-bolts. Under the structural steel, some basic tools for placing wide flanges, some channel, and angle. Under the textiles, simply select the isoplane you would like to place your text, and the text is orientated to that plane. The Fabrication Tools tab is our main tab for our SpoolCAD software. It allows us to update information about X-rays and welders. We can do field weld symbols. We can insert weld count lists, weld lists or weld maps for each individual weld. We can set the heat number. We can do a cost code. We can do a diameter inch calculation, calculate the spool weight, even set things like the pipe end preparation, all under the Fabrication Tools tab. Under the Bill of Materials tab, we can create a bill of material. We can remove a bill of material. We can change the pipe length. We can add special items. Under the Utility tab, we can insert our borders, as well as our basic dimensioning tools. We have line number tags, valve tags, and equipment tags. Weld symbols, which allows us to attach a weld symbol to each individual weld or series of welds. Lastly, under the Changes tab, we can change things like the layers, AutoCAD layers, move layers, change layers. Most important in here would be our dynamic attribute edit, which allows us to edit information within the drawing. At the bottom of the toolbox, we see the active settings. The next topic is borders. Let's take a look at inserting a border into our drawing. Select the Utilities tab. Select the Border tool. Drawing Size dialog appears. Select the appropriate size border for your drawing. For this tutorial, we'll use the B size 11 by 17. Select OK. The Edit Attribute dialog box appears. We can then enter our project information, spooler mark number, our sheet number, revision number, and any other information, things like the drawn by, the date. There is a Next button. Click on it to see all the information that can be input into the border. These borders are customizable and can be changed at any time to suit company or client needs. When completed, click OK. We'll take a look at the information. At any time during the drawing session, this information can be updated. Custom borders can be set in our Standards Manager. Under the border settings, we can customize the borders. Under the File Location tab, we can tell SpoolCAD where to search for those borders. Our last topic in Module 1 is Basic Settings. Before we can begin to draw, we must set some of the basic settings. Under our Settings tab, our main size, the main size for our pipe, the branch size. You can scroll down and see all the different sizes. Set a branch size. Set the pipe spec that we would like to use for the project or for the drawing. If we need to, we can set spec overrides, so we can go from threaded to socket weld, or from raised face to flat face or ring type joint. Anytime we can do that as an override. We can also set our isoplane setting, which allows us to pick which plane we would like our fittings to align to. Simply select the plane and it will change. To make things even easier, at the bottom of the toolbox, we see our active settings on display. To change the isoplane, simply click and it will change the isoplane. Click on the spec. Various specs will appear. Select the appropriate spec. Main size, branch size. We can set the line number if required. If you need to create a new line number, you can click on the Line Number tab, enter line number, and click OK. You can also set the line numbers through our Standards Manager under the Lines tab. We can see all of the lines, and we can create a new line tag, rename it, or purge it out or delete. We are now ready to draw. This concludes the topics covered in Module 1. Please review Module 1 or select the next module.